Today, we are going to talk about a huge new challenge in software development. How do you actually see the work your AI coding assistants are doing? We're diving into a tool called SeeCodes, and it's designed to bring some serious clarity to that exact problem.
So your team's using AI agents, right? Stuff like Copilot or Cursor, and that's great. But, it opens up this brand new question for managers and team leads everywhere. Can you really see what's being built before that massive pull request just lands on your desk?
And this right here is the core issue. AI agents are amazing because they work on their own, but that turns the whole development process into a bit of a black box. Progress suddenly gets hazy. And let's be honest, managing what you can't see is, well, it's pretty much impossible.
To tackle this, SeeCodes has a feature called Team Competitions. Now, before your mind jumps to some classic cutthroat leaderboard, I want to be really clear. This is designed to be so much more than a simple scoreboard.
The entire goal here is to get you to stop thinking about ranking individuals and start creating a shared understanding of the work itself. It's all about getting context, spotting patterns, and ultimately just having better, more productive conversations as a team.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. This is straight from the source. The effort score, which we're about to break down, is intentionally built to be a conversation starter, not some kind of performance weapon. Think of it as a tool for coaching and looking back, not for pointing fingers.
Okay, so how does it actually work? What's under the hood? Let's take a look at the anatomy of this effort score and see what's really being measured.
As you can see right here, effort isn't just one thing. It's a composite score, a blend of different signals. Every piece has its own weight and its own job, measuring everything from focus time in the editor to the breadth and, importantly, the impact of the work.
So we can boil that formula down to 4 key ingredients. SeeCodes is looking at focus time, actual active minutes. It's looking at the volume of code changed. It's looking at the breadth of that work, how many files were touched, and maybe most critically, the impact of that work.
And that last one? That's the secret sauce. SeeCodes adds what it calls semantic bonuses for work that affects the core architecture or logic. This is for those game-changing updates that aren't necessarily about thousands of lines of code, but are totally foundational to the whole system. And this is exactly why those bonuses are so crucial. Think about it. A 10-line change to a core architectural piece can be way more complex and impactful than a 200-line tweak to a button's color. This model actually recognizes and rewards that kind of system-shaping effort.
Right, so this brings up the most obvious question any manager is going to ask. I'm looking at a score. Let's say it's 120. Is that good? Is it bad? What does that number even mean? The answer is all about a concept called normalization.
Normalization is absolutely key to using this data the right way. SeeCodes sets a baseline score of 100, and that 100 represents a typical task for your specific team during that specific month. It is not some universal grade pulled from the sky.
So that score of 120 doesn't mean you got an A+. It just means that particular task took about 20% more effort than your team's average for that month. This keeps the comparison fair, contextual, and really only relevant inside your team's unique workflow.
Now, you might be wondering, where did this formula come from? Well, it wasn't just invented in a back room. It's actually grounded in decades of academic research in software engineering.
This right here is the core philosophy, and it's backed by really well-known frameworks like the SPACE framework from Microsoft Research. The consensus in the field is crystal clear. You cannot measure developer productivity with just one metric. You need a multifaceted approach. This table really helps connect the dots. The whole idea of a composite score, that's straight from the SPACE framework. Measuring how many files are changed, that's based on research into change diffusion and risk. And those architecture bonuses we talked about, they're linked to an academic concept called propagation cost, basically how much a change in one spot ripples out and impacts everything else.
So if you boil all that science down, here's what you get. 1. Productivity is complex. 2. Context is everything. There are no universal grades. 3. How many files a change touches is a really strong signal for effort. And 4. The meaning of the work often matters a whole lot more than the raw number of lines of code. Okay, so you've got the theory, you've got the science, but how do you actually apply it? The whole point is to use this data to have smarter, more insightful conversations with your team.
This might be the most important slide of all. Let's be really clear on the do's and don'ts. Don't use this for surveillance or to figure out bonuses. Do use it to guide your retrospectives, to enable better coaching, to celebrate when someone tackles a really complex piece of work, and to truly understand how difficult some tasks are.
So instead of asking, why did this take so long, which puts everyone on the defensive, you can now ask something like, hey, I noticed this task had an effort score of 142, which is way above our baseline. Was there some unexpected complexity here? Are we dealing with a tricky part of the code base? What can we learn from this for our next planning session? See, it completely changes the tone of the conversation.
Look, AI is quickly becoming a real collaborator on our engineering teams. And because of that, the old ways we used to measure progress and talk about work are starting to break down. So the real question you have to ask yourself is, are you giving your team the tools and, frankly, the mindset they need to keep up?